Morning. Happy Sabbath once again. Good morning. All right. So today's Health Spotlight, I have a question to start it off. If you can flip it to the next slide, please. All right. What is it? You spend a lot of time doing this without even knowing it. Any ideas? All right. Next slide. If it comes. Again, one more time. Sleeping. All right. You spend a lot of time doing this without even knowing it, and it's sleeping. Now, sleeping is very important to our health. Did you know that? And let's just turn to the next slide, and we'll find out what what happens to us when we have sleep deprivation or the lack of sleep. All right. So why is sleep important? Next slide. All right. I know this is kind of small print, but you can actually find this on healthline.com. It's a very neat graphic. And so just type in the effects of sleep deprivation, and you will find this one on healthline.com. It's very good. And I'm just going to kind of go around it real quick. Number one is memory issues. All right, so anytime you've been sleep deprived, how good can you think? It's impaired, right? You can't think as well. All right. Mood changes. How many people get more grumpy when they are sleep deprived? I think we can all attest to that. All right, here's some good ones. Weakened immunity. This is important, okay? And so a weakened immunity, how does your body use sleep to repair itself? Well, there's various hormones that happen that are secreted during the night. But interestingly enough, there was a study that took healthy individuals, and one group got good sleep. The other group got 4 hours of sleep, so they are sleep deprived. They then gave everybody a dose of the cold virus. All right, we're not talking coronavirus, the cold virus. All right, and guess what happened? The sleep deprived group was 3 times more likely to become symptomatic. All right, so what does it tell us about sleep and our immunity? It's important. All right. Okay. Risk for diabetes is on the bottom right-hand corner there. And it's true. Another study took normal individuals, sleep deprived them for 6 days, and guess what happened to their blood sugar levels? They went up. All right, so they became like almost pre-diabetic. The good news is that when they got regular sleep, their glucose levels went down. A lot of it has to do with the fact that the pancreas, they're not clear on the mechanism, but they think that the pancreas secretes less insulin, and that causes the blood sugars to rise. Okay, all right, good. Back to the top there. It says trouble thinking and concentration. We talked about that. My mom said when I was starting to learn how to drive, said you never drive sleepy. Why? Because it's like driving drunk. All right, and accidents do happen with sleep deprivation, and that's not a good thing. All right, and that's the next one below that. High blood pressure, hypertension. Your blood pressure goes up when you're sleep deprived, and what do you think that does in turn into your heart? It makes it work harder, all right? And so therefore you can develop heart disease, which isn't good, all right? So it kind of works together there. Weight gain. There's some thought on this. Apparently there's 2 hormones in the body. They work opposing each other. One is secreted to stimulate appetite. The other one is secreted to make us feel satisfied, or satiety we call it. And guess what happens when you are sleep deprived? The hormone that causes which one goes up, do you think? Hunger. All right. So you become more hungry when you're sleep deprived. Therefore, you eat more. Therefore, you gain weight. Also, the speculation that if you're more tired, you will not want to do what? Exercise. All right. So there's huge benefits to getting good sleep. All right. Next slide, please. So how much sleep is enough? All right. That's a very good question. Next slide, please. These are broken down by ages. So you can see the younger you are, the more sleep you do require. Interestingly enough, when it gets to about age, I think it's 18 years of age, it kind of plateaus. Even though you are 75, you should try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And once again, for all these health reasons we talked about. One reason that wasn't mentioned as above is inflammation. Oh boy, we've heard that word a few times around here. Why? Because of COVID. What does COVID do? It causes inflammation in the body. So if you have baseline inflammation in your body and you are sleep deprived, that causes more inflammation. Then COVID comes along. Not only is your immune system worse, but you also have more inflammation for the virus to do its damage. And so by getting good sleep, you can actually decrease your inflammation, increase your immunity, and therefore decrease your risk, hopefully, of COVID or severe infection anyway. All right. So once again, it's important to get good sleep. Even though you are 18 and above, yes, you need sleep, at least 7 to 8 hours. All right. Next slide. All right, so how to get a good night's sleep. There's various methods. Once again, this is found on Healthline. This is all over the internet. It's nothing secret. The one thing that we have to our disadvantage nowadays is technology. You should not try to use your tablets or phones in bed, especially when you're trying to go to sleep, because this will stimulate the brain to stay awake. And so you want to not try to do that. So limit daytime naps. If you feel tired and you have to take a nap, no more than 20 minutes, all right? And once again, if you take too much of a nap, that encroaches on your nighttime, which then you get into this bad feedback, and then you have difficulty sleeping at night, and that's not a good thing. Going to bed at the same time is important, waking up at the same time, sticking to your routine schedule, even though it's a holiday. That's very hard to do, I know. The kids are like, yay, no school the next day, so we can stay up late. But anyway, wrong answer, apparently. All right, that's spending hours before bed doing relaxing activities to kind of help the brain wind down a little bit. All right, avoiding heavy meals within a few hours before going to bed. Refraining from using electronics. We talked about that. And exercise. See how a lot of these health principles kind of integrate together? And so exercise, man, I could tell you after a good physical activity sometime during the day, I am tired and I'm ready to go to sleep. And you're not going to wake me up until the next day. So. All right. So once again, sleep is important. It's one of the 8 pillars of health, or 10, depending upon which description you're looking at. And the whole reason, once again, is to keep us healthy so that we can be healthy in God's service. Amen? Because after all, it's hard to tell others about Jesus when we're sick. And so we need to keep ourselves healthy. And this is one of the ways that we can do that, is to get good sleep. And so with that, hopefully you can get a good night's rest tonight and throughout the rest of the week. And we'll see what's in store for us next week. Amen.